Hello and welcome guys, this is Let's Build a Castle Part 3. As you can see in this episode, we have finished our archway and all of the 4 towers. So, I hope you enjoy and we might as well begin. Previously, as you can see, we have actually built already our 4 bases of the towers. We also have our 4 bridges built and the overlooking one. So in this episode, what we'll actually see is all 4 main towers being fully constructed. So what I'm just going to quickly do here is at an incredibly fast speed actually build up the size of the main towers. In the little intro at the beginning, you did see how of like a huge scale they were at, and this is the scale I intend the entire castle to be. In the first episodes, it was hard to kind of show what kind of scale I was looking for, because obviously all I could do was explain, and now with that intro you can actually see physically what our castle, like what kind of style we're going for, and overall how big the actual castle will be. You can just see me here just doing the simple placing the big cylindrical towers. So I will actually probably leave a link in all the descriptions for how we actually build these cylindrical towers, because I am literally following, well now I'm not following them, but originally when I started building towers like this I knew how to build them from a little template. So as you can see here, the second tower has been built. You didn't need to see the same thing twice. So what I am actually going to move on to doing now is I'm going to build a frame, which is what I'm going to build my archway off. So as you can see, I'm just going to build this small rectangle arch, and then what I will do is build a triangle, solid triangle block above, and then you'll see how I just delete the bits to make the frame. So you get this solid triangle and delete the inside of it, and sort of very rapidly have the frame of what we will build off. To contrast the 2 stone colours again, I'm obviously going for the double stone slabs. So what you can see is that I'm building these up. So the archway is going to be built out of a 3-layer system. It's going to have 1 stone slab layer, then a stone brick slab, then another stone slab layer. It's hard to describe. You'll basically see in a few minutes. You can see there I've got the stone brick layer in the middle. You can just see it here basically. The stone bricks are in the middle, and it's sandwiched either side by the stone slabs. This just creates quite a decorative effect, and just didn't mean that it was all just stone brick all around our archway. So as the entrance of the tower, of the entire castle actually, it had to look quite impressive. So I went for that style you just saw me zoom out and show there. What I'm quickly going to do here is, I believe, fill in the just the gaps around here, but I do actually have some indecisive moments here. As you can see, I'm deleting it all again. I didn't really know how to like convey this look I was going for, but this will be for. I am actually just deciding how I'm going to fill in the roof, but that'll actually occur later, I believe. What I actually move on to do here is actually, I believe, yep, as you can see, I'm increasing the size of the towers furthermore to fully match what you saw at the beginning of the video. This is an incredibly fast process with the Movie Maker editing. Sorry if you see some jumpy cuts in this. Actually, I've had some very stressful times recently with Movie Maker, because for some reason I'm going to have to get probably Sony Vegas, because at the moment what it's doing is, when I'm speeding up and cutting videos, it's chopping parts off. You might actually see some later, some of this, like, it's a bit of a disaster really. It's really annoying really. The first 2 episodes worked absolutely fantastically. Everything worked fine. Hey, you just saw one there. For some reason it just cut out the bit where I moved into my transition, which is normally quite a smooth process, but in this episode, because of Movie Maker, it completely cut out the moving bits. But now, as you can see, what I'm doing is I'm building that roof of the archway, so that's what I was contemplating earlier. So I'm just going to quickly throw this in, obviously following the same style as what's on the outside of the layers. What I'm building up here is another template of what I'm going to build. The first floor of the defensive bits of the arches, where like soldiers, archers would sit and defend the main entrance. That's what I'm building over the archway here. This is just a quick example of me actually putting in, you saw me putting then a broken stone brick, because I made an issue, like something wrong. And instead of deleting it and put a perfect stone brick back, I'll put a broken one, which overall, when I make mistakes throughout the castle, eventually it should make the castle look quite worn and just like peacefully and realistically kind of follow the imperfections of the castle and make it look old, really. As you can see, I'm just quickly throwing in the walls of the of this little defensive area. I will also put in the floors, the dark wood again to further keep continuity. You can see me just blasting them in here. 2 by 2, and then I'm actually going to fill in the floor of the cylindrical tower here. I am later in the episode, you'll see actually build the inside of all the towers, where I will actually build a spiral staircase that'll link all our main floors together. So as you obviously, they're going to need ways of traversing the overall tower. What I am actually going to use those stone steps again, just to smooth off the archway and just give it a little more detail, really. You see that occurring here, and you can also see I've put windows into the side of the wall for arches. What I am actually going to move on to do, I believe, is, will I be mistaken? Nope. What I am building here is the double stone slabs, just a little more frame, a little more decorative, and put these wooden fences in as a gridded effect to not only look good, but it contrasts the colours as well. And as you can see, it works well. It's a good little effect. In a moment you should see me pan over, you don't need to see it the same thing twice, so I've just filled in that back there. That's not completely filled with detail yet, but you don't need to see me do the same things twice, so I'll just do that off camera, fill that area in. As you can see, just putting in the next set of floors, so now I believe we have 3 floors in this cylindrical tower. We're going to have more than that because we need the very top floor later, if not another floor as well. You can see what I'm just going to do here. I'm actually building up this tower even more. I believe once I've built this cylindrical up, what actually will be is the final size of the towers. Just like I've had to speed it up a lot this bit because obviously this will get incredibly boring as watching me build cylindrical towers. So overall, this is like ×4. So it might look a bit choppy, but it saves you watching all the boring stuff. As you can see, just did the exact same thing twice, so you don't need to see that. And what I'm actually going to build here is a further double stone slab frame to actually have the next floor of defences in. Just not only does it look good, but the second floor obviously adds another layer of defence to the castle. So it's actually slightly smaller this floor because this will have to actually accommodate a triangular roof. And to keep enough space between this triangle roof and the towers above, then I had to actually shorten this floor just ever so slightly. So as you can see, same process as what was in episode 1, I believe, of just building this triangle roof to do it like an overhang defensive roof. Really, is just using stone steps and just a simple triangle shape. Actually going to build the insides of the walls here, I believe, for the actual second floor of the tower. So you can see these blasting out. Obviously we'll cut out those window holes again just so archers can fire out of them, and then further actually carry on the wooden effect throughout, because it'd look completely strange if I just had half a wooden frame on one half of the tower and then not on the other. So you'll see all this slowly just jigsaw together. As you can see here, I'm just filling in those top little layers, and actually should be putting in the wooden frame in a moment. Here we go, just blasting that in. The problem with filming this series is normally you film an hour of footage and there you've got 4 episodes of 15 minutes, but with this series it's completely the opposite way. This is an hour and 20 minutes of actually solid building, and what I've had to actually do is cut it down to 18 minutes so you don't have to see the incredibly boring bits and all the little bits when I sat there and thought about it. So with this series it's counterproductive. You build something epic and then you have to cut it down so much that you're getting 1 episode for every hour of work you do. It's kind of stressful, but overall it works. Here I've actually equipped myself with diamond armor because when nighttime came and the lack of lights occurred, we actually had some mobs spawning, so here's a quick slaughterhouse of me running through the tower with my superpowers, my diamond armor and sword to sort out these mobs. Quickly just disposed of them. What I'm actually going to move on to here is actually finishing the rounded spike tops of the towers. Just here, as you can see, I should cut this out probably, but I'm actually getting the materials to do this. Again, I'm using the upside down stone stairs to create an overhang of the towers and just add a little more detail, a little bit of more effect. I'll actually cover these, put a double stone slab layer above these to obviously contrast the colours of the stone again. You can just see that occurring here. those half stone slabs there, brick slabs, sorry, will they just work just as effectively as the upside down stairs for the corners where stairs would look out of place and unsymmetrical. So these are actually going to hold up the main roof. This tower's probably a little bit high for some defensive maneuvers, but the epic scale of this castle was like necessary for it to look effective. So what I'm actually placing here is the main like points on the towers will be built off these stone shapes. So what you'll see me doing is just placing this frame out here, again following the cylindrical templates, so they look as accurate as possible, and like it's as close you can get to circles in Minecraft. So now I'm building these up too high each time, because if at first cut I actually went one high, and it did create triangle, but it was very stubby, like sloped triangle. So with this double layer of stone meant that the actual tower came to an overall much sharper point. So this has just been sped up even more, as you can see, so you don't have to again see me do the boring stuff. So I'm just building up this tower more and more, becoming closer and closer to this point. So every time getting 2 up and 1 in. So now finally you can just see me, I've finished this. So if I just zoom out here, you see what I mean, like with this double stone like style I went for, it meant it creating much more of a point to the tower. So now I'm just going to add in the double stone steps to smoothen it off and make it look even more like a real tower. These workers they represent basically stone slates. So you can just see me throwing these onto the towers. I will actually in this episode as well, just near the end, you'll see me build we have 2 smaller towers at the other end of the bridge, defending like the other entrance to the castle, you could say. And yeah, I'm actually going to finish those off. Them towers aren't going to be nearly as epic as these, because they don't need to have as much of a statement as this main entrance does. But overall, they do look very effective, and they do look much more practical for having archers defending the castle, primarily because they are not hundreds of foot in the air much like these, but this one does look incredibly pretty. As you can see, I'm putting lights in. This will prevent the mob problem I had earlier. A little more support and a little more colourful effect, just adding these beams in with just dark tree trunks. So you can see if I just zoom out here, that's one tower complete, and you'll see the second one just appear like magic. So now the 2 actually I'm going to build here is actually, you'll see me do the spiral staircase. So as you can see, I've previously cut out the squares up above there, and I'm actually just going to put this 2x2 tree trunk like backbone of the stairs up the tower. So you can see me throwing these in at high speed. What I will then use is stone stairs to actually follow up the backbone, and then people will be able to traverse up and down the tower. This will be done in the other tower as well, sorry, but you don't need to see it twice, so I'll just show it you once in this tower. Just applying now these stone stairs, as you can see, just gradually building up the size of the tower. I actually had a quick problem here. I was building them one too short, so as you can see, I could, where I'm putting I obviously come up here with the idea of how I should be doing it, like replace them. So I go up 2 blocks each side, so 2 blocks and then another side, now 2 blocks and now another side. So earlier I was only going up 1 block, so now that's going to make traversing the tower incredibly quicker, probably twice as quick. So this will be sped up even more in a few moments, I believe. So as you can see here, we are actually leveling towards each end of the tower. Each time we get to another floor, as you can see, I'm just putting in these stone like floorboards. Just watch it gradually grow up towards the roof. 1 floor left to go, just putting them in, and then here we are about to finish. So as you can see, just smooth this off with wood. Just make sure there's enough height room to be able to traverse here. As you can see, I'm actually replacing all these with wood because we need to keep continuity through the tower, and there's no point having stone there. It just looks a little bit weird. I do actually go under. There is another floor here. So as you can see, this is level with the bridge if you just look through there quickly. So I cut that a bit quick, but there's nothing we can do about that now. I'm recording my voice over it. Sorry. But yeah, just put in the torches as well, because I have regularly, when building, heard creepers. Well, not creepers, you don't hear them, but like spiders and skeletons walking around inside these dark towers. So lighting them up was incredibly important and had to be done. So now this cylindrical staircase is done, I believe I will move on to the smaller towers at the rear. So the second tower, you can now imagine, has the exact same cylindrical staircase through it, and I'm going to move on to these smaller towers. Because they're smaller and not as wide, I couldn't actually fit in a cylindrical staircase, so what I've had to do is just have ladders. But considering this is just for archers, no civilians have to use it, it won't be any inconvenience for like militarized training men. So as you can see, this is just, I'm just going to have one tree trunk up and a ladder up the side of it. So I'm just actually finding the ladders here. As you can see, just blast them in now, and now this is obviously going to be the way of traversing these smaller towers. This wouldn't have worked in the much bigger towers, it just wouldn't have looked as like believable, but now you can just see that's done. What I actually do here, I was really indecisive on how I wanted these struts to look around this tower, so I do actually go through, I sped this up incredibly fast because I do go through about 3 design processes. Now, I probably should have cut out, but I thought you'd see that this is like coming out of my head, so everything you see in this series has been tried and tested in these little processes of me just going through and seeing which looks best. So as you can see now, this I've gone for a very simple look there, which wasn't appealing to the overall grand scale of the castle, so I just removed these, and actually very soon I do finally come up with, which is actually what I'm building here, these double slabs will actually start the actual overall finish. So I'm actually kind of coming up with ideas, but I do like these stone slabs, so you'll just watch me progress on this tower, trial and error, until I get the best looking finish. Looking back there at the main towers for inspiration, I suddenly came up with the idea of the upside down stairs to like raise out the tower at the top and create that overhang again that's been seen throughout the castle, so it fit in very well. Where I actually now use these stone walls, I believe they are, to create the overall struts. So as you can see now, the actual overall, we are basically finished. This is the clip you did see at the beginning of the video, and you do actually miss an ever so slightly a few minutes of footage, so these are about to come up in a moment. What I'm actually going to build now is these towers are huge, aren't they? So they're going to need some sort of support, and to make this support look more realistic, I'm actually creating a base here below the towers, so this will actually just make it look wider at the bottom, so it looks like it's more structurally sound, which has been, not only in this series have you seen me build things that look good, but also I've made sure that they look like believable, that like structurally, like it doesn't look like it's just going to fall over, and it looks incredibly like believable, really, is what I'm going for, as well as good, like pretty. So just using again the half stone brick slab there to fit in where stairs wouldn't. So overall, actually, now we are finished. This is the entrance to our tower finish. So it took 3 episodes, just test certificates being used to show the example of the bridges. Thanks for watching this so far, and in the next series what we're going to start moving on to is the keep and the rest of the castle. So look out for those. Don't forget to comment, rate and subscribe, and I'm very thankful for you getting to the end of my video. And any comments, criticism, constructive criticism or just praise are much appreciated by me. And thanks for watching.
Three, two, one, ready.